I just want to go ahead and also just for people that are just tuning in, just to remind you guys, we do have a giveaway going on right now. Aside from the live stream giveaway that we mentioned earlier, we do have that weekly giveaway. We posted a question last Monday. To join, just follow these 3 simple steps. Leave the right answer in the comment box, hit the like button, and share the post. We're going to announce the winner every Saturday. And lastly, from one of our sponsors, we also have a gift away. Just go to the ePlaymat Facebook page, like the page, look for the giveaway post, and sign up for the wait list that is in the comment section, and tag 3 friends. Don't forget to tag those 3 friends. 7 winners will be announced by May 19th.
There you go. And of course, we're heading into the second game. Again, still KK Amory and Empress Phoenix. Really dominating match. Even though there's a slight back and forth, especially on the objectives, but they still prove on how dominant their lineup is. Speaking of lineup, we are getting back. Balik muna tayo sa ating drafting phase as we give it to Isaac. Take it away now.
Ladies and gentlemen, game number 2. At ito na nga sinasabi natin, no? Nagkaroon ng problema ang Genki Amory because of the Braum, because of the Garen. First pick natin, let's just take the Braum for ourselves. This time though, yung Garen, hindi lang kukunin. Kasi first pick sila, syempre, isa lang mapipili mo. Kukunin ngayon ng Empress Phoenix yung formula nila. It is not broken, do not fix it. They get the Garen again. They get the Akali again. What are they going to use para i-combine ang kapangyarihan ng Braum? They're going to put Bunzi on the Kai'Sa. So alam na natin yan. Okay, solid. Walang problema pagdating sa bot lane duo. They have the ways. They have the means. We've seen this in the previous games of Genki Amory. Makakahanap ng paraan si Bunzi if mapupunta siya, makakapag-online etong Kai'Sa na to. You need to upgrade your Ikathon lane, your supercharge, and then you have the pressure of a split push coming in from Fuyu. They want to lock down this Kai'Sa though, so they're gonna bring in the Rakan. You have a grand entrance to set things up for you. Assault and battery is gonna be a very big deal. You're going to pick a Shyvana into a Vi here. So, makikita mo pa lang, lineup-wise, all out, team fight, suguran, bakbakan. You have Moonfall, you have Dragon's Descent, you have the Glacial Fissure as well. This is all to set up for the 1 carry Bunzi while Fuyu split pushing. On the other hand though, again, it's back to the Jinx, it's back to the formula, making sure this front to back setup is great. You wanna stop the front line so that Akane can reach the back line. Who's gonna be able to execute their draft, their strategy? We're seeing different styles this time coming in from Genki Amory. EPX still doing what they're known for. Game number 2 going underway. I'm gonna bring it back to the hot and sexy tandem. Y2K and Naisou, back to you.
Thank you very much, man.
Papadidigan na namin to. Hot and sexy!
Yeah, so man, Y2K, I'm looking at Empress Phoenix. And if it's not broken, don't change it.
Don't change it, yeah.
We have Mina on that Garen once again. We have Pawi on the Jinx and the Kayn on the Kali. And I think exactly what the analysis mentioned, they have to shut them down. They need an answer for the Kayn's Akali and Pawi's Jinx. And not to mention even Mina's Garen. So we're going to have to see here in game 2, Genki Amory, if they can go ahead and give a run to their money, run for the money to over to Empress Phoenix, because this is a match point. It is a best out of 3, so they need to take this victory.
I mean, with the current lineup, has been seen here that the potential of locking down someone is really high, especially on Empress Phoenix lineup. But of course, the disengage still with the protection of the Braum, probably in the mid to the late game, that Bunzi can really hit like a truck in that timeline. But of course, with the initiation that Hanyu can provide and Hazel's follow-up can really make a change. But again, grad entrance, the quickness can really turn the things down like yesterday.
Yeah, we just saw a little bit of a delay there for Hazel on the Shyvana because Dora was there messing with the jungle camps. But, you know, Shyvana still clears pretty fast, so it should be okay. And we know too that Fiora is picked here. If we use Fiora, if all else fails, Fiora is one of the best split pushers in the game and can also be that possible win condition that Genki Amory needs. We did see in the first series, a backdoor kind of play winning one of the games, so maybe we'll see that here as well. A very well-known matchup here, Fiora versus Garen. So Mina's definitely going to have to just play a little bit more defensively because Fiora, 1 versus 1 should win that team fight or that matchup. And now we're going to see how this game decides to play out differently from the last one. And what I'm really looking forward to is the battle of these junglers once again. It really does come down to junglers. We know that objectives are very important in Wild Rift. So again, Hazel versus the Kazuri matchup is what I'm looking forward to seeing in this early portion of the game.
Yep, and still the junglers being proactive is one of the good things by both of the teams. Probably the asset from the last games is what might be the junglers and the mid laners, and of course the Garen out of nowhere from Mina. And still picking the Garen at the second game makes them probably an intimidation for Genki Amory, especially on the laning phase, but still gaining that advantage, especially on the tankiness and the health, probably make them think twice about the build, especially if you want to run Grievous Wounds, if you want armored penetration, go ahead, there's no stopping you, but you need to consider probably the consequences in building such things early, as you probably sacrifice some of your kits.
Yeah, and I want to talk about the support matchup here too. We saw Dora, on the Rakan before, and we got the nickname, I believe, yesterday, Dora the Destroyer. Just an absolute player on this Rakan, and also Sly on the Braum also performed really well yesterday. So, and I think as a support player myself and all support mains out there, we know that support players really do set up their AD carries for success. And both of these players, Sly and Dora, are both amazing support players for their ADCs. And I think that's why we get to see people, like Bunzi, people like Pawi play so well and have such amazing KDAs. And it's because their supports are such well played. And, we're going to see that here unfold as the Dragon is going to be the first Mountain Drake, and it's coming up in about 30 seconds. So I'm sure we'll see some resets here and everybody kind of getting ready for that first Dragon fight coming up.
And that will be probably the first major team fight that they will be having. Again, this is the Dragon. Let's see, that's a Mountain Drake, really giving the advantage, especially to Mina. She can really utilize the Mountain Drake together with probably the Rakan, of course. There's a lot of shields. A lot of shields that can be given. Of course, if they can, Genki Amory can get the Dragon again. That's Shyvana. Shyvana can really scale a lot, especially on her abilities, depending on what Drake should be they getting or something.
Yeah, and I want to take note here too. Kane has that Leandra's already, which is going to turn out to be very valuable in this first fight. She has that first item locked in. So again, Kane's going to be the one to watch out for in a team fight. And at this point in time, does Genki Amory have the tools they need to really lock a Kane down and shut her down? Their best bet is actually getting a lockdown. There's an initiation right there. Pops the quickness, and now they're working on top of Sly, but she's getting very chunked very low. She's going to be able to survive that. Lots of flashes and even a heal coming out from Dora. It was a nice try, but now they know some ultimates are down. They're not available. So now they're going to go ahead and turn their eyes towards this Mountain Drake. Genki Amory trying to get the first Drake of the game. Knowing, there you go, there's the smite from Hazel. And they're going to go ahead and secure that first Mountain Drake. And now go back to lanes and wait for that Rift Herald to come up.
Definitely agree on that one, but in that team fight, almost team fight in the bottom lane, probably use the assault and battery on the wrong person, which is the Braum. Yeah. That's kind of crack-a-lacking to me. If you want to really secure that one, Unstoppable can really disrupt projectiles and all of that one. But when it comes to assault and battery, you can just directly go into the Kai'Sa, deal a lot of damage. of course, that's a follow-up quickness. Of course, Grand Entrance from Drakan probably will get 1 kill, but in that case, there's a slight error there. Also burning some utilities and knowing that some ultimate are down, Genki Amory taking the dragon is their advantage.
Yeah, Genki Amory knows that they have that advantage, and they were able to secure that dragon. And now, again, you know, the lanes have swapped here, of course, because Rift Herald's up. And again, the same story. They're going to look for either a pick or some type of initiation for this Rift Herald to start, because we know Rift Herald will lead into the next Drake as well. And you have Kazuri with that, picking up that GA first. If we take a look at Hazel's first item as well, the GA. Most junglers take these GAs so that they can kind of make those plays around these objectives and try to get the smite. It really comes down to who is the better smiter, if you want to call it that. And they both have these GAs. And so the junglers know that the Rift Herald is going to be a deciding factor into the mid game, as it really does open up that middle lane or wherever they decide to drop it. And here you have them getting very low. There's the Moonfall and the knockup from the Glacial Fisher. There's the secured on the Rift Herald by Hazel, and now everybody's getting chunked very low. Kai'Sa's still in the back lane. Bunzi totally untouched, taking down the Rakan right there. The GA's popped as well in Kazuri, and there goes Kazuri. And again, we mentioned if Bunzi gets online on this Kai'Sa, that's gonna be their saving grace, because Bunzi on Kai'Sa is just a force to be reckoned with, and we saw it right there. Such good positioning and able to get some of those kills right there too.
And there you go. And of course, don't forget about our first blood is brought to us by ePlayment. So that's our digital wallet for gaming and entertainment. The ePlayment wallet.
ePlayment.
Yeah,
that first blood. But there we go. So now they have that Rift Herald. You know, they have that Rift Herald in their pocket. On top of that, they have the dragon. And now from this point, they can go back to their laning phases until the next objective is up. And we see this happening time and time again. Objectives really, really matter in the early portion of the game, because they start snowballing these certain champions. Again, you know, you have in that Rift Herald fight, you had such a great initiation from Hanyu and Sly. You know, we had that Moonfall, and now they're able to put those resources into Bunzi, because again, that's what they have to do. And now they're going to go ahead and work on this bottom turret. They're going to go ahead and back off here, but we're going to see a return to normal lanes. Again, a dragon will be up. It's going to be a Cloud Drake in about 30 seconds. So we're going to see them going here, and we still have the 1 versus 1 action. Kayn getting caught out a little bit, getting very low. There's the Shroud, gets pulled, and the stasis being popped, and it looks like she's going to go down right there. Unfortunately, a Kayn going down from the bush there. Here comes the Rift Herald now in the mid lane as well, and again, they're going to make their eye towards the dragon coming up next.
that's a pre-push actually. Getting the kill, and of course getting the turret, and also getting the Cloud at the same time, and no answer whatsoever from Empress Phoenix, as again Genki Amory will secure the Cloud to their pockets. And probably the power spike that I'm waiting for the Jinx is either she build the BORK or probably a Runan's Hurricane, so it can scale pretty well on the rockets. But let's see, the bot turret has been pushed, no initiations whatsoever. They're just trying to get away in the corner, but there goes the Vitals, and now with the dragon form all of a sudden, now the fight turning things around. Glacial Fisher will be activated now. Bunzi, it's still dealing a lot of damage, but with that Dragon's Breath from Hazel, taking down Kazuri's Vi, and with that lead 5-1, gold advantage is around almost 8,000, and still they have the solid lead in this game.
Yeah, we mentioned this, they mentioned this during the draft. What they had to do, Genki Amory is executing this perfectly. They needed to get their core members online here, Bunzi and Hanyu. And again, we have Fuyu just pushing the lane, getting that gold, and causing pressure there. And this is what they exactly need. This is what they need to do and change it up from game one. If we remember from game one, even though the score was the way that it was actually a very close game. And now we have Empress Phoenix with their backs against the wall. They have to come out of this by getting either some picks, whether that be using Assault and Battery to target someone down, or start winning some objectives, because at this point in the game, we're now leading into the mid-game here. We need something to happen for either a Kane or for Paui to really bring Empress Phoenix into these team fights.
Exactly, and of course, they need to be careful, especially on the objectives. They are way behind, especially on the dragons. They are not going to like it when the third dragon will be in the hands of Genki Amory, or at least the Baron is okay in a sense, but getting the dragon probably is more important than them probably securing the Baron, because they can still turn things around, but with the damage, I mean the power spike from the three dragons is really a force to reckon with. And speaking of that one, an Ocean would be placed as the third one, so that means that's an Infernal Elder.
Yeah, and also on top of that, you again, as I mentioned earlier, Sly with this Braum right now is again a big credit to Bunzy's ability on this Kaisa. You can see Bunzy's already got that 10.5k gold, has 2 of the items that she needs to really just put out the damage. On top of that, she has red buff. So at this point, Bunzy's probably feeling really confident in any type of skirmish, any type of team fight, and she knows that she has Sly there to back her up. And at this point, all they have to do is get into a fight, and you can see here some skirmishing going on in the jungle. But they're going to just basically keep clearing the lanes, because at this point in the game, all you can do is continue to work on those tier 2 turrets, push where you can, and wait for the next objective.
And of course, with that objective in mind, they need to be careful, especially in the positioning. They don't want to let Bunzy be Bunzy, just dealing a lot of damage in the backline. But now by going against the Fiora in the top lane, and then probably the rest of the team will follow the Vital. The last Vital might be activated, but there it goes. Where are you going? You know, the Garen dishing a lot of damage. The Master Justice will be activated, but that's not enough to get Fuyu down.
Fuyu surviving the 3 versus 1 commitment there. Just what a great play by Fuyu. And now the dragon is here for the taking again. Genki Amory going for their 3rd dragon buff, and this was, they did have dragon buffs last game, but this time they're also here. There's a smite, okay, they're gonna go ahead and grab that. Just a little surprisingly smite there, but they do grab the 3 dragon buffs. So again, Elder, you know, will be for the taking there. Not to mention it's gonna be an Elder Infernal, and that's gonna be a lot of power over the Genki, who's already really strong. Fuyu popping that blast cone so that Empress Phoenix can't use it, and now they're feeling really confident for this Baron here, getting really low, and they're gonna be forced to initiate. There's the knockup from Empress Phoenix, and there's the Glacial Fisher as well, but there's just so much damage here coming out from Genki Amory, and now Bunzy with the flash, able to get out just in time, and now they're working on a Kane, and Kane's gonna get taken down by Hazel. There we go. Vi still working on it, but it's taken down as well. Bunzy once again showing the power on this Kaisa, and now it's gonna be a 5 versus 1. That's a 4 players down for Empress Phoenix, and they're working their way with the Baron power play here to the turret, and they might even be working to end this game right here. It's looking to be in favor of Genki Amory taking game 2. We're gonna go to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. What a performance by Genki Amory. GGWP.
Victory!
Well, that's what I'm saying. They need to be careful, especially on the objectives, and they gave all the possible objectives that they can offer to Genki Amory. Especially that's a Shyvana can really have the power spike of the dragons. But for a more detailed analysis, we will be heading on to our analysis. Of course, Sh1n Boo with 149, and Zach, take it away, guys.
Thank you so much, Naisou, and of course Y2K. Yeah, apologies for earlier on the draft, but we are back now. This time, totally one-sided. I think it's totally one-sided. Not really in terms of micro, but in terms of strategy. That Genki Amory, they were able to put in something very unique, something very fresh from that game number 1. And what is that? Dragon control. They've answered what is this? They've answered the front lines, the usual front lines of BPX coming from that game number 1 where you get a Wukong and meron ka ring Garen, nga pala no. Pwede pala magtagalog. Ayun, and you also have what is this? You also have this Shyvana. Okay?
Yep.
Nakakatuwa yung Shyvana lineup. It feels very, very unique. To the point that natapos nga yung game, buti na lang natapos yung game 3 Drakes eh. Pag 4 Drakes, paano mo patatalunin talaga, di ba? Yung Shyvana, clearly, a new draft. A new draft was delivered here by Genki Amory and simple. It delivered against EPX. Ngayon, EPX ang kailangan mag-adjust. Isaac, ikaw, what about you? Key details ng game na yun, what do you think?
Ang key details niyan is again going back to the Dragons, no. Nakita naman natin kung gaano kalaki yung impact ng Dragon dito kasi syempre Shyvana composition. Yun nga lang, ang pinaka problema doon was the timing from EPX. First Drake, ginamit assault and battery sa Brom. No ultimate, uncontested yung Dragon. Kasi hindi na nila kaya i-contest yun eh. They lost the ultimates in a prior team fight seconds before the Dragon came up. The second Drake, same case. Third Drake, same case again. Gank topside seconds before a Dragon. Ano ginawa ni Fuyu? Repost, dodging the assault and battery. Demacian Judgment was not enough to take out a 3v1 commit pa yun ha. Before a third Drake. That was a lot of time wasted. The timing was very off. Genki Amory, what they did was very, very macro. Exit sila pagtapos sila makuha objective, hindi sila magbibigay ng room for comebacks. And at the same time, no, the Rakan pick is great. You know, Dora, we saw the performance of Dora dun sa game number 1. This time though, a Rakan pick has no burst follow-up. Sino mag-burst dyan, Garen? It's not gonna work. You're countered by AoE crowd control when you go in with a grand entrance. GK will have the means to counteract any engage coming in from EPX. Kaya hindi sila makahanap ng way, makapasok, lumaban. Ang nangyayari, nauubos sila. And at the same time, the itemization of Jinx was IE Runan. Where's the BRK for the tanky frontline?
And alam naman natin na yung Jinx kailangan merong ramp up eh. May isang nakukuha man lang at least para sa game na yon. They put a sizable frontline dito. Remember that also Hanyu is on a Diana. So may threat din yung Diana dito for the side of the Rakan, for the side of the Akali. Sa totoo lang, ganda nga ng Diana sa Akali kasi anong tago ng Akali, kung nag-domain expansion na yung Diana, maatik na yun, pwedeng mahagip yung Akali anytime. Pero I just want to repeat yung sinabi mo kanina. Yeah, yung focus kay Fuyu, totally unrewarding. Lalo pa yung later part na dalawang Drake na yung nakuha ng Empress Phoenix dito. And dalawang Drake na yung nakuha ng Genki Amory dito. And Empress Phoenix was eyeing on giving up a third Drake against the Shyvana. Actually, di ba men, given yun eh. Kung Shyvana ang lineup ng kabila, isa't isa lang talaga mission mo, deny mo. Deny mo kasi napaka-rewarding parusahan ng Shyvana na hindi nakakakuha ng dragon niya. Kumbaga, bubutiki din, malarenekton itong Shyvana kapag walang dragon, no? So that's the thing eh. Kaya nakakatuwa yung ginawa dito ng Genki Amory talaga na di kami kanina mas magaling yung Empress Phoenix when it comes to macro sa amin. Kahit yung lineup namin madali pull up. Baguhin lang namin yung lineup namin. Binagungan talaga namin. We delivered true damage. We have duelists. And this time we have a Shyvana. It's been a long time, di ba? Paring Isaac. Since yung Shyvana sa running meta natin. Ang makulit pa nga dyan, di na nga nalalaro yan sa Pilipinas. Na-nerf pa yan. Probably popular onto the other regions. At ngayon, yung pinakita ng Genki Amory na may potential pa rin yung Shyvana. Let's look into the charts. Mabilisan lang. Gusto ko makita yung impact ng Shyvana dito. So, it's not really much, no? It's mainly onto the dragon control. Pero, the one involved kasi for the fights, or rather, the fights is always delivered saan? Kundi sa lane ni Fuyu. Diba? Paring Fuyu. Kaya
16k damage,
oh. Highest damage received, 'di ba? Ayun, it's very rewarding para sa side lang talaga dito ng Genki Amory. Fuyu, kapangapa niya yung champion na hawak niya ngayon dito. I would dare say, piliin tong Fiora sa game number 3. Why not?
I think it's really smart eh. Kasi, you know for a fact na, okay, This is a Fiora. We have to punish the Fiora para hindi siya makapag-split. That completely takes away the attention from Hazel. And you know for a fact that if it's a Shyvana comp, they want to go for the Dragons. So you have to choose. Are you going to address Fuyu or are you going to address Hazel? The problem of game number 2 was that Empress Phoenix could not address both. They tried it on Fuyu, repost counter. They tried it in a team fight. They got destroyed by Glacial Fissure into Dragon's Descent, into Moonfall, habang nag-free si Banzi. At the end of the day, no, it's macro against macro, 1-1 sila, napakaganda ng macro ng dalawang teams na to. They showed up, and they're showing their stuff. Game number 3 is going to be interesting to see how both teams adjust going into the final game. Any last words, Master?
Well, that's indeed. Ano na lang to. Request natin na magbago yung Genki Amory, nagbago nga sila. Walang no choice. APX, something was broken, you have to fix it. No? Nasolusyonan sila ng Genki Amory. Let's see what will be the adjustment coming in from Empress Phoenix. Maganda rin na may game number 3 nga tayo sa series na to. Nakakatuwa yung mga semifinals natin dito sa Liga Adarna. We're gonna be passing it on sa ating mga casters. Let's get back to Naisou and Y2K para sa ating game.
Thank you. Welcome back.
you.
We got a game 3, Y2K.
There you go, game 3.
Got a game
It's really, I don't know what to say. It's like they're giving their best in the series, of course, 1-1 and going to the game 3. And of course, that analysis brought to us by Smart Double Giga Games. That's a double GG with Smart Double Giga Games. 2 GB games every day for League of Legends Wild Rift, Call of Duty Mobile, Mobile Legends, and FP Gaming. Just download the Giga Life app in the Play Store or App Store, or just dial *123# and choose Double Giga.
Yeah, and you know, if we set our sights on game 3, we have I love best of 3s, and I love it when they go to 3 games, you know. And I understand what Empress Phoenix was doing that last game. You know, I do understand. Again, if it's not broken, don't fix it. They tried their best there. But you know, Genki Amory just really did the right job there answering what happened in game 1. So we're gonna see here if things are changed up, if things are switched up. You know, maybe a Kane's gonna pick a different mid. Probably won't go with the Akali. We'll have to see here. And again, as our analysts mentioned, you know, Rakan was a good pick there, but it just wasn't enough to get things going, because even when Dora would initiate on that Rakan and pop the quickness and get on that CC, there just wasn't enough, because they were slowly falling further and further behind. And as we saw, all the dragon buffs went to Genki Amory, and again, there wasn't much contesting there. So I'm sure maybe for game 3 we'll see some more focus on those objectives, because we got to give it up to Hazel on this on Genki Amory. They're really good at smiting those dragons and getting those dragons. So